Neuromelanes, plural of neuromelanin. Neuromembrane, the membrane of a neuron. Neuromembranes, plural of neuromembrane. Neuromeningeal, relating to nervous tissue and the meninges. Neuromental, relating to the nervous system and brain. Neuromer, alternative form of neuromer. Neuromer, a morphologically or molecularly defined transient segment of the early developing brain. Neuromers, plural of neuromer. Neuromere, relating to a neuromer. Meromers, plural of neuromer. Neuromesenchymal, misspelling of neuromesenchymal. Neuromesenchymal, relating to or composed of neural mesenchyme. Neuromesodermal, relating to the nervous system, especially to the spinal cord and the paraxial mesoderm. Neuromesanger, any substance such as nitric oxide that transports neural signals. Neuromesangers, plural of neuromesanger. Neurometabolic, describing any metabolic effect on the nervous system. Neurometabolism, the parts of metabolism that are controlled by the brain. Neurometabolite, any metabolite found in the brain as a result of neural activity. Neurometabolites, plural of neurometabolite. Neurometer, a device that measures electrical currents in the skin or a person's perception of such currents. Neurometers, plural of neurometer. Neurometric, relating to neurometrics. Neurometrics, the measurement of electrical activity brain waves within the brain. Neuromicrovascular, synonym of microneurovascular. Neuromics, the identification of the totality of the neurons in an organism. Neuromigration, the migration of or towards neurons. Neuromimesis, hysterical or neurotic simulation of disease. Neuromimetic, designed to mimic the activity of neurons. Neuraminidase, misspelling of neuraminidase. Neurominorities, plural of neurominority. Neurominority, a group of people who are neurodivergent in a particular way. Neuromodulate, to neurologically modulate. Neuromodulated, simple past and past participle of neuromodulate. Neuromodulates, third person singular simple present indicative of neuromodulate. Neuromodulating, present participle and gerund of neuromodulate. Neuromodulation, the regulation of neurons by neurotransmitters. Neuromodulations, plural of neuromodulation. Neuromodulative, relating to or causing neuromodulation. Neuromodulator, a substance other than a neurotransmitter released by a neuron at a synapse and conveying information to adjacent or distant neurons, either enhancing or dampening their activities. Neuromodulators, plural of neuromodulator. Neuromodulatory, of or pertaining to neuromodulation. Neuromodules, plural of neuromodule. Neuromodulant, GAP43 protein. Neuromolecular, describing the molecules involved in the nervous system. Neuromonitoring. Neural monitoring. Neuromorbidity, the death of neurons. Neuromorpher, that mimic and implement neurobiological architectures present in the nervous system to be used in a practical computing system. Neuromorphically, in a neuromorphic neuromorpher, that mimic and implement neurobiological architectures present in the nervous system to be used in a practical computing system. Neuromorphically, in a neuromorphic manner. Neuromorphics, neuromorphic computing. Neuromorphogenesis, morphogenesis of neurons. Neuromorphological, relating to neuromorphology. Neuromorphologically, in a neuromorphological manner. Neuromorphology, the morphology of the nervous system and its components. Neuromorphometric, relating to neuromorphometrics. Neuromorphometrics, the morphometrics of the brain and nervous system. Neuromotility, the neural cause of gastric motility. Neuromotor, pertaining to the relationship between the nervous system and movement. Neuromotoric, alternative form of neuromotor. Neuromuscular, pertaining to the voluntary or reflexive control of muscles by nerves. Neuromuscular junction, the synapse of the axon terminal of a motor neuron with muscle. Neuromuscular junctions, plural of neuromuscular junction. Neuromuscularly, in a neuromuscular way. Neuromusculature, all the muscles and associated nerves of the body. Neuromusculatures, plural of neuromusculature. Neuromusculoskeletal, describing the interactions between nerves, muscles, and the skeleton. Neuromyasthenia, chronic fatigue syndrome. Neuromyelitic, relating to neuromyelitis. Neuromyelitis, inflammation. Of both the spinal cord and nerves. Neuromyelitis optica, an autoimmune disease with a similar presentation to multiple sclerosis, but is common in Asians and in most cases is characterized by the presence of anti-aquaporin 4 antibodies. Neuromyelitis optica, alternative form of neuromyelitis optica. Neuromyelopathy, combined neuropathy and myelopathy. Neuromic, neuromuscular. Paramehiao, relating to neural and muscle arteries. Neuromyology, the study of nerves and muscles. Neuromyopathic, relating to neuromyopathy. Neuromyopathies, plural of neuromyopathy. Neuromyopathy, any disorder affecting both nerves and muscles. Neuromyositis, neuritis accompanied by inflammation of the related muscles. Neuromyotonia, spontaneous muscular activity, usually as a result of a fault in the immune system. Neuromyotonias, plural of neuromyotonia. Neuromyotane, having or relating to neuromyotonia. Neuromyth, a commonly held false belief about neuroscience or something falling within its area of study. Neuromythological, relating to neuromythology. Neuromythology, plural of neuromythology. Neuromythology, widespread incorrect beliefs regarding the workings of the brain. Neuromyths, plural of neuromyth. Neuron, a cell of the nervous system which conducts nerve impulses, consisting of an axon and several dendrites. Neurons are connected by synapses. Neuron activation, a response of excitement triggered by something, especially a sexual or lustful response. Neuronal, of or relating to a neuron. Neuronal, with regard to a neuron. Neuronat, a protolipid associated with the control of ion channels during brain development. Neuronaut, one who studies the brain and its workings, especially with regard to the effects of psychedelic drugs. Neuronauts, plural of neuronaut. Neuronavigate. To carry out neuronavigation. Neuronavigated. Simple past and past participle of neuronavigate. Neuronavigating. Present participle and gerund of neuronavigate. Neuronavigation. Any of various systems of software and hardware that assists a surgeon to guide or navigate instruments within the skull. Neuronavigational. Relating to neuronavigation. Neuron. Alternative spelling of neuron. Neuronogenesis. Meiogenesis of nervous tissue. Neurons. Plural of neuron. Neuronic. Neuronal. Neuronitis. Inflammation of a nerve. Neuron-like. Resembling or characteristic of neurons. Neuronogenesis. The formation and development of neurons. Neuronogenic. Relating to neuronogenesis. Neuronopathic. That damages neurons. Neuronopathies. Plural of neuronopathy. Neuronopathy. A form of polyneuropathy caused by destruction of neurons. Neuronophage. A phagocyte that destroys nerve cells. Neuronophages. Plural of neuronophage. Neuronophagia. The destruction of nerve cells by phagocytes. Neuronophagy. Neuronophagia. Neuronormative. Focusing on or privileging the neurotypical over the neurodivergent. Neuronotropism. Misspelling of neurotropism. Neurons. Plural of neuron. Neuronuclear. Pertaining to the branch of nuclear medicine that is concerned with the brain and nervous system. Neuronutrient. A nutrient that affects the nervous system. Neuronutrients. Plural of neuronutrient. Neuronemy. The nomenclature for parts of the brain. Neuroculicutaneous. Involving the neurological system, specifically central nervous system, the eyes and the skin. Neuroncological. Relating to neuroncology. Neuroncologist. One who works in the field of neuroncology. Neuroncologists. Plural of neuroncologists. Neuroncology. Alternative form of neuro-oncology. Neurophthalmological. Alternative form of neurophthalmological. Neurophthalmological. Relating to the neuropathology of the eye. Neurophthalmologist. Alternative form of neuro-ophthalmologist. Neurophthalmologists. Plural of neurophthalmologists. Neurophthalmology. Alternative form of neuro-ophthalmology. Neurophthalmological. Misspelling of neurophthalmological. Neuropacemaker. An implant in which electrical energy is applied in impulses in order to inhibit pain. Neuropacemakers. Plural of neuropacemaker. Neuropediatric. Alternative form of neuropediatric. Neuropediatrician. Alternative form of neuropediatrician. Neuropediatricians. Plural of neuropediatrician. Neuropaleobiology. The branch of paleobiology or of neurobiology concerned with the nervous systems of extinct animals. Neuroparacrine. Neuro and paracrine. Neuroparalysis. Plural of neuroparalysis. Neuroparalysis. Paralysis because of damage to a nerve. Neuroparalytic. Of or pertaining to neuroparalysis. Neuroparasite. an organism that is parasitic of the nervous system. Neuroparasites, plural of neuroparasite. Neuroparasitic, parasitic of the nervous system. Neuroparasitosis, plural of neuroparasitosis. Neuroparasitosis, parasitosis caused by a neuroparasite. Neuroparenchyma, the parenchyma of the nervous system. Neuroparenchymal, relating to neuroparenchyma. Neuroparsin, any of a group of neuropeptides present in locusts and other insects. Neuroparsons, plural of neuroparson. Neuropath, a physician with specialization in neuropathy corresponding to today's specialties of neuropathologist or neurologist, one who focuses on nervous conditions in pathology. Neuropathetic, alternative form of neuropathic. Neuropathic, of or relating to neuropathy. Neuropathic pain, pain caused by damage to nerves or by damage to the brain, brainstem, or spinal cord. Neuropathic pains, plural of neuropathic pain. Neuropathic, of or relating to neuropathy. Neuropathically, in a neuropathic way. Neuropathics, synonym of neuropathy. Neuropathies, plural of neuropathy. Neuropathist, a neurologist. Neuropathists, plural of neuropathists. Neuropathobiology, neurological pathobiology. Neuropathogen, any material that is pathogenic to the nervous system. Neuropathogenesis, the pathogenesis of diseases of the nervous system. Neuropathogenetic, of or pertaining to neuropathogenesis. Neuropathogenic, pathogenic to the nervous system. Neuropathogenicity, the quality of being neuropathogenic. Neuropathogens, plural of neuropathogen. Neuropathologic, of or pertaining to neuropathology. Neuropathological, of pertaining to or arising from neuropathology, the pathology of nerve tissue. Neuropathologically, in terms of or by means of neuropathology. Neuropathologies, plural of neuropathology. Neuropathologist, a specialist who practices neuropathology. Neuropathologists, plural of neuropathologists. Neuropathology, neural pathology, the pathology of the nervous system usually and especially in the sense of its cytopathology and histopathology as opposed to the study of diseases generally. Neuropathomorphologies, plural of neuropathomorphology. Neuropathomorphology, the morphology of a neuropathological condition. Neuropathophysiological, neural and pathophysiological. Neuropathophysiology, pathophysiology of the nervous system. Neuropaths, plural of neuropath. Neuropathway, neurological pathway. Neuropathways, plural of neuropathway. Neuropathy, any disease of the peripheral nervous system, peripheral neuropathy. Neuropatterning, the patterning or recording of information and patterns within the brain so that habits are created as repetition of a certain behavior makes it easier to repeat the behavior. Neuropedagogy, the application of cognitive neuroscience to teaching. Neuropediatric, relating to neuropediatrics. Neuropediatrician, epivision, whose specialty is neuropediatrics. Neuropediatricians, plural of neuropediatrician. Neuropediatrics, pediatric neurology. Neuropediatrist, a pediatrist who specializes in neuropediatrics. Neuropediatrists, plural of neuropediatrist. Neuropeptidase, a peptidase that breaks down neuropeptides. Neuropeptidases, plural of neuropeptidase. Neuropeptide, any of several peptides, such as endorphins, that function as neurotransmitters. Neuropeptidergic, peptidergic with regard to neuropeptides. Neuropeptides, plural of neuropeptide. Neuropeptidome, a peptidome that is restricted to neuropeptides. Neuropeptidomes, plural of neuropeptidome. Neuropeptidomics, the peptidomics of neuropeptides. Neuroperception, response of the nervous system in perception. Neuropercolation, a mathematical model of the function of a neuropil. Neuropercolations, plural of neuropercolation. Neuropedidergic, misspelling of neuropedidergic. Neurophakomatosis, a phacomatosis placing emphasis on the neurological and cutaneous manifestations of the disease. Neuropharmaceutical, any drug used to treat a neurological disorder. Neuropharmaceuticals, plural of neuropharmaceutical. Neuropharmacokinetic, relating to neuropharmacokinetics. Neuropharmacokinetics, the pharmacokinetics of drugs within the brain.
Here we go.
Neuropharmacology, relating to neuropharmacology. Neuropharmacological, relating to neuropharmacology. Neuropharmacologically, in a neuropharmacological manner, with regard to neuropharmacology. Neuropharmacologies, plural of neuropharmacology. Neuropharmacologist, a person involved in neuropharmacology. Neuropharmacologists, plural of neuropharmacologists. Neuropharmacology, a science concerned with drug-induced changes in the functioning of cells in the nervous system. Neurophenomenological, pertaining to neurophenomenology. Neurophenomenology, a fusion of phenomenology and neuroscience. Neurophenotype, a neurological phenotype. Neurophenotypes, plural of neurophenotype. Neurophenotyping, the construction, recording, and analysis of neurotypes. Neurofilament, misspelling of neurofilament. Neurophilic, having an affinity for nervous tissue. Neurophilosopher, one who studies neurophilosophy. Neurophilosophers, plural of neurophilosopher. Neurophilosophical, relating to philosophy. Neurophilosophy, the interdisciplinary study of neuroscience and philosophy that explores the relevance of neuroscientific studies to the arguments traditionally categorized as philosophy of mind. Neurophobia, an aversion to or fear of neurology or the nervous system, especially among medical students or professionals intimidated by the complexity of neurological science. Neurophonic, relating to neural responses to stimulation of the ear by sound. Neurophonics, plural of neurophonic. Neurophotonic, relating to neurophotonics. Neurophotonics, the use of microscopic and spectroscopic methods in neuroscience. Neurophylla, any of a group of benzoylated phenylcalmerins present in bark of the tree Mamia neurophylla. Neurophylls, plural of neurophylla. Neurophylogeny, the study of the evolution of nervous systems across different animal taxa. Neurophysical, pertaining to the nervous system and the physical body. Neurophysically, in neurophysical terms. Neurophysicist, a person engaged in neurophysics. Neurophysicists, plural of neurophysicists. Neurophysics, the branch of physics dealing with the nervous system. Neurophysin, any of a group of carrier proteins that transport the hormones oxytocin and vasopressin to the posterior pituitary from the paraventricular and supraoptic nucleus of the hypothalamus. Neurophysins, plural of neurophysin. Neurophysiology, synonym of neurophysiological. Neurophysiological, of or pertaining to neurophysiology. Neurophysiologically, in terms of or with regard to neurophysiology. Neurophysiology is plural of neurophysiology. Neurophysiologist, a scientist who studies neurophysiology. Neurophysiologists, plural of neurophysiologists. Neurophysiology, the branch of physiology that deals with the nervous system. Neurophysiopathological, relating to neurophysiopathology. Neurophysiopathologist, a pathologist who specializes in neurophysiopathology. Neurophysiopathologists, plural of neurophysiopathologists. Neurophysiopathology, physiopathology of the nervous system. Neurophysiotherapy, physiotherapy to help neurological conditions. Neuropil, a fibrous network of nervous tissue that forms the gray matter of the brain. Neuropillar, relating to the neuropil. Neuropile, alternative form of neuropil. Neuropilma, neuropil. Neuropiles, plural of neuropile. Neuropilin, any of a group of glycoproteins which act as transmembrane receptors in neurons. Neuropilins, plural of neuropilin. Neuropils, plural of neuropil. Neuropin, a device used to quantify pain, especially in relation to diabetes. Neuropins, plural of neuropin. Neuroepithelium, misspelling of neuroepithelium. Neuropituitary, neural and pituitary. Neuroplasm, the protoplasm of a nerve cell. Neuroplasmic, relating to neuroplasm. Neuroplasm, plural of neuroplasm. Neuroplastic, of or pertaining to neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticities, plural of neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity, the state or quality of being neuroplastic, of having a brain that adapts to experience. Neuroplastin, a transmembrane immunoglobulin protein. Neuroplastins, plural of neuroplastin. Neuroplastogen, synonym of psychoplastogen. Neuroplastogens, plural of neuroplastogen. Neuroplasty, any surgery to repair nerve tissue. Neuroplegic, exhibiting or relating to neuroplegia. Neuroplegics, plural of neuroplegic. Neuropod, any neuropodous animal. Neuropodia, plural of neuropodium. Neuropodial, relating to a neuropodium. Neuropodium, the ventral lobe or branch of a parapodium. Neuropodus, plural of neuropodium. Neuropodial, relating to a neuropodium. Neuropodium, the ventral lobe or branch of a parapodium. Neuropodus, having the limbs on or directed toward the neural side, meaning the nervous system is located ventrally, as in most invertebrates. Neuropods, plural of neuropod. Neuropoiesis, the process by which neural stem cells differentiate to form mature neurons, astrocytes, and oligodendrocytes in the adult mammal. Neuropoietic, relating to neuropoiesis. Neuropoietin, a cytokine involved in neuropoiesis. Neuropolitical, relating to neuropolitics. Neuropolitics, an academic discipline regarding the intersection of neuroscience and politics. Neuropophysis, misconstruction of neuropophysis. Neuropore, an opening at either end of the embryonic neural canal. Neuropores, plural of neuropore. Neuropragmatics, neurological pragmatics. Neuropraxia, alternative form of neuropraxia. Neuropraxias, plural of neuropraxia, but see the usage note there. Neuropraxer, of or pertaining to neuropraxia. Neuropraxis, plural of neuropraxy. Neuropraxy, alternative form of neuropraxia. Neuroprecursor, a stem cell that develops into a neuron. Neuroprecursors, plural of neuroprecursor. Neuroprediction, the prediction of future activity based on the output of an electroencephalograph. Neuropredictions, plural of neuroprediction. Neuropreservation, the preservation of the brain in the hope of future resuscitation. Neuropreservative, relating to neuropreservation. Neuroprocessing, neural processing part of mental activity. Neuroprocessor, a supposed part of the brain that carries out neuroprocessing. Neuroprocessors, plural of neuroprocessor. Neuroprogenitor, a neural progenitor cell. Neuroprogenitors, plural of neuroprogenitor. Neuroprognosis, plural of neuroprognosis. Neuroprognosis, the prognosis of a neurological condition. Neuroprognostication, prognostication of a neurological condition. Neuroprognostications, plural of neuroprognostication. Neuroprogramming, synonym of
Invincible.
neurolinguistic programming. Neuroprogression, the changes to the nervous system that accompany the development of a mental disorder. Neuroprogressive, relating to neuroprogression. Neuroproliferation, the proliferation of neurons. Neuroproliferative, leading to the proliferation of neurons. Neuroprostane, a form of isoprostane formed by peroxidation of polyunsaturated fatty acids. Neuroprostanes, plural of neuroprostane. Neuroprostheses, plural of neuroprosthesis. Neuroprosthesis, a prosthesis such as a cochlear implant used to improve the function of an impaired nervous system. Neuroprosthetic, of or pertaining to neuroprosthetics. Neuroprosthetics, the design and manufacture of neuroprosthetics. Neuroprotease, any protease that's active in the nervous system. Neuroproteases, plural of neuroprotease. Neuroprotect. To cause or to undergo neuroprotection. Neuroprotectant. Neuroprotective. Neuroprotectants. Plural of neuroprotectant. Neuroprotected. Subject to neuroprotection. Neuroprotectant. Any of several groups of compounds that have neuroprotective activity. Neuroprotectant. Synonym of neuroprotective. Neuroprotectants. Plural of neuroprotectant. Neuroprotection. The protection of neurons from neurogeneration. Neuroprotective. That provides neuroprotection. Neuroprotectively. In a neuroprotective manner. Neuroprotectives. Plural of neuroprotective. Neuroproductivity. The quality of being neuroprotective. Neuroprotector. Any drug that offers neuroprotection. Neuroprotectors. Plural of neuroprotector. Neuroprotects. Third person singular simple present indicative of neuroprotect. Neuroprotein. Any protein that is associated with the nervous system. Neuroproteins. Plural of neuroprotein. Neuroprotomic. Relating to neuroprotomics. Neuroprotomics. Protomics that is restricted to neuroproteins. Neuropsin. A type of upsins expressed mostly in the eye and nervous tissue. Neuropsins. Plural of neuropsin. Neuropsych. Neuropsychology. Neuropsychiatric. Of or pertaining to neuropsychiatry. Simultaneously neurological and psychiatric. Neuropsychiatrically. In terms of neuropsychiatry. Neuropsychiatrist. A medical doctor specializing in neuropsychiatry. A medical doctor dealing with disorders that have both neurological and psychiatric features. Neuropsychiatrists. Plural of neuropsychiatrist. Neuropsychiatry. The branch of medicine dealing with disorders that have both neurological and psychiatric features. Neuropsychic. Of or pertaining to the nervous system and the mind. Neuropsychoanalysis. The synthesis of neuroscience and psychoanalysis, such that constructs from the latter might eventually be correlated with mechanisms from the former. Neuropsychoanalytic. Relating to neuropsychoanalysis. Neuropsychoanalytical. Synonym of neuropsychoanalytic. Neuropsychoanalytically. In terms of or by means of neuropsychoanalysis. Neuropsychobiological. Neurological and psychobiological. Neuropsychobiology. Neurological psychobiology. Neuropsychodynamic. Of or pertaining to neuropsychodynamics. Neuropsychodynamics. The theoretical synthesis of neuroscience and psychodynamics. Neuropsychologic. Neuropsychological. Neuropsychological. Of or pertaining to neuropsychology, the relation or combination of brain and mind. Neuropsychologically. In terms of or by means of neuropsychology. Neuropsychologists. A neurologist or psychologist whose specialty is neuropsychology. Neuropsychologists. Plural of neuropsychologists. Neuropsychology. A branch of neurology and of clinical psychology that investigates the physiological basis of psychological processes. Neuropsychometric. Involving neuropsychological measurements. Neuropsychometry. Neuropsychological measurement. Neuropsychomotor. Neurological and psychomotor. Neuropsychopathic. Relating to neuropsychopathy. Neuropsychopathies, plural of neuropsychopathy. Neuropsychopathologic, alternative form of neuropsychopathological. Neuropsychopathological, relating to neuropsychopathology. Neuropsychopathology, the study of the effects of the brain on psychopathology. Neuropsychopathy, neurological psychopathy. Neuropsychopharmacological, relating to neuropsychopharmacology. Neuropsychopharmacologically, in terms of or by means of neuropsychopharmacology. Neuropsychopharmacologist, one who studies or practices neuropsychopharmacology. Neuropsychopharmacologists, plural of neuropsychopharmacologists. Neuropsychopharmacology, the clinical and scientific study of the physiological and psychological properties of agents acting within the central nervous system. Neuropsychophysiological, relating to neuropsychophysiology. Neuropsychophysiology, a scientific discipline which integrates neurology, psychology, and physiology. Neuropsychoradiology, neuroradiology used to diagnose psychological/psychiatrical problems. Neuropsychoses, a psychosis that has neurological symptoms or cause. Neuropsychotherapeutic, relating to neuropsychotherapy. Neuropsychotherapist, a practitioner of neuropsychotherapy. Neuropsychotherapists, plural of neuropsychotherapists. Neuropsychotic, relating to neuropsychoses. Neuropsychotoxic, psychotoxic and neurotoxic. Neuropsychotoxicology, the subdiscipline of neurotoxicology concerned with the study of toxins or toxicants that have adverse effects on the brain. Neuropsychotropic, affecting the nervous system and the mind. Neuropsychotype, a neuropsychological type. Neuropsychotypes, plural of neuropsychotype. Neuropsych, plural of neuropsych. Neuropter, a lacewing of the order Neuroptera. Neuroptera, plural of Neuropteran. Neuroptera, of or pertaining to the Neuroptera. Neuropteran, any insect of the order Neuroptera having 4 large and membranous wings. Neuropterans, plural of Neuropteran. Neuropteric, any insect of the superorder Neuropteridae. Neuropterids, plural of Neuropterid. Neuropterist, animalages whose speciality is lacewings of the order Neuroptera. Neuropterists, plural of Neuropterist. Neuropteroi, characteristic of lacewings of the order Neuroptera or the clade Neuropterida. Neuropterological, relating to neuropterology. Neuropterologists, one who studies neuropterology. Neuropterologists, plural of neuropterologists. Neuropterology, the study of lacewings of the order Neuroptera or of the clade Neuropterida. Neuropteran, any member of the order Neuroptera. Neuropterans, plural of Neuropteran. Neuropterus, dated form of Neuropterol. Neuropters, plural of neuropter. Neuroqueer, belonging to, characteristic of, or related to the intersection of neurodivergence and queerness, particularly autism and LGBT identities. Neuroqueer, simple past and past participle of neuroqueer. Neuroqueering, present participle and gerund of neuroqueer. Neuroqueerness, the state or quality of being queer. Neuroqueers, plural of neuroqueer. Neuroradiographer. His specialty is neuroradiography. Neuroradiograpers, plural of neuroradiographer. Neuroradiographic, relating to neuroradiography. Neuroradiographical, alternative form of neuroradiographic. Neuroradiographically, by means of or in terms of neuroradiography. Neuroradiography. Radiography of the brain. Neuroradiologic. Neuroradiological. Neuroradiological. Of or pertaining to neuroradiology. Neuroradiologically, with regard to, or by means of neuroradiology. Neuroradiologist, a specialist in neuroradiology, a radiologist who specializes in the nervous system. Neuroradiologists, plural of neuroradiologists. Neuroradiology of the nervous system, especially the use of radiation to diagnose and treat disorders of the nervous system. Neuroreactive, neurologically reactive. Neuroreceptor, the site on a neuron that receives an impulse across a synapse. Neuroreceptors, plural of neuroreceptor. Neurorecording, the recording of neural activity. Neurorecovery. The recovery of the nervous system after a stroke or other trauma. Neuroreductionism, a form of reductionism which explains psychological phenomena in terms of neuroscience. Neuroreductionism, plural of neuroreductionism. Neuroreductionist, a proponent of neuroreductionism. Neuroreductionists, plural of neuroreductionists. Neuroreflectory, relating to neural reflexes. Neuroreflex, a neurological reflex. Neuroreflexotherapy, a form of alternative medicine for lower back pain, in which small pieces of metal are placed just under the surface of the skin in the ear and back, supposed to interrupt the neural pain processes. Neuroregeneration, the regrowth or repair of damaged nervous tissue. Neuroregenerative, involved in or relating to neuroregeneration. Neuroregression, regression of neural function, typically in young children due to a vitamin deficiency. Neuroregressions, plural of neuroregression. Neuroregulation, regulation of the systems of the body by the nervous system. Neuroregulator, an entity such as a neurotransmitter or neuromodulator involved in neuroregulation. Neuroregulators, plural of neuroregulator. Neuroregulatory, relating to or carrying out neuroregulation. Neuroregulin, alternative form of neuroregulin. Neuroregulins, plural of neuroregulin. Neurorehabilitation, neurologic rehabilitation. Neurorehabilitative, relating to neurorehabilitation. Neurorepair, the repair of neurons. Neuropairing, the repairing of damaged neurons. Neuroreparative, that repairs damage to neurons.
Here we go.
Neuroreplacement, the therapeutic replacement of damaged neurons with stem cells. Neurorepulsive, relating to repulsion between adjacent neurons. Neurorescue, the repair of damaged neurons. Neuroresearch, neurological research. Neurorespiratory, neurological and respiratory. Neuroresponse, a neurological response. Neuroresponses, plural of neuroresponse. Neurorestoration, the restoration of damaged neurons. Neurorestorative, restorative against neurogeneration. Neuroretina, the rim of the retina that contains its neural elements. Neuroretinal, relating to the neuroretina. Neuroretinitis, plural of neuroretina. Neuroretinitis, plural of neuroretinitis. Neuroretinitis, inflammation of the optic nerve in the retina. Neuroretinopathies, plural of neuroretinopathy. Neuroretinopathy, any disease that affects the retina and the optic nerve. Neuroi, a neurological right, any of a set of rights to freedom from abuses of neurotechnology, both for humans and for any transhumans as may eventually exist, such as the right not to have one's thoughts detected by others' mind reading against one's will, the right not to have one's personality altered against one's will, and others. Neurex, plural of neurine. Robotics, the science and technology of embodied autonomous neural systems. Neuroraphies, plural of neuroraphy. Neuroraphy, the suturing of severed nerves. Neurorthic. Neuroraphies, plural of neuroraphy. Neuroraphy, the suturing of severed nerves. Neurorthic, alternative form of neurorthic. Neurorthids, plural of neurorthic. Neros, plural of neuro. Neurosal, relating to a neurosis. Neurosarcoid, clipping of neurosarcoidosis. Neurosarcoidosis, a sarcoidosis affecting the central nervous system. Neurosarcoma, a malignant peripheral nerve sheath tumor, a form of cancer of the connective tissue surrounding nerves. Neurosarcomas, plural of neurosarcoma. Neurosarcomata, plural of neurosarcoma. Neuroscanning, the scanning of the brain by machine in order to understand its structure and function. Neuroschistosomiasis, schistosomiasis of the nervous system. Neurosci, neuroscience in journal titles such as J. His Neurosci Journal of the History of Neuroscience. Neuroscience, the scientific study of the nervous system. Neurosciences, plural of neuroscience. Neuroscientific, pertaining to neuroscience. Neuroscientifically, in a neuroscientific manner or context. Neuroscientists, a scientist whose specialty is neuroscience. Neuroscientists, plural of neuroscientists. Neros, nerved, having many nervures or veins. Neuroscrete, to undergo neuroscretion. Neuroscretic, simple past and past participle of neuroscrete. Neuroscretion, the synthesis and release of hormones by neurons. Neuroscretions, plural of neuroscretion. Neuroscretum, that part of a proteome consisting of neuroproteins secreted from a cell. Neuroscretomes, plural of neuroscretum. Neuroscretory, of, pertaining to, or producing neuroscretion. Neurosecurity, the application of computer science security principles to neural engineering. Neuroselective, that selects a particular type of nerve. Neuroselectivity, the condition of being neuroselective. Neurosemantic, relating to neurosemantics. Neurosemantics, a branch of neurolinguistic programming that seeks to attach meaning to emotions and feelings, etc. Neurosenescence, neurological symptoms of old age. Neurosensor, a device that senses neural activity. Neurosensorial, synonym of neurosensory. Neurosensors, plural of neurosensor. Neurosensory, of or pertaining to the sensory functions of the nervous system. Neuroserpin, a serine proteinase inhibitor that is expressed in neurons during embryogenesis and in the adult nervous system. Neuroserpins, plural of neuroserpin. Neuroses, plural of neurosis. Neurusta, synonym of parapodium. Neurusti, plural of neurusta. Neuroskism, the use of neuroscientific research to support pre-existing ideas about inherent sex differences. Neuroskzest, exhibiting or relating to neuroskism. Neuroskzest, plural of neuroskzest. Neurosignaling, misspelling of neurosignaling. Neurosignaling, neural signaling. Neurosignature, a unique signature/schema associated with a particular pattern of brain cell activity. Neurosignatures, plural of neurosignature. Neurosis, a mental disorder less severe than psychosis, marked by anxiety or fear which differ from normal measures by their intensity, which disorder results from a failure to compromise or properly adjust during the developmental stages of life between normal human instinctual impulses and the demands of human society. Neuroskeletal, of or pertaining to the neuroskeleton. Neuroskeleton, the deep-seated parts of the vertebrate skeleton related to the nervous axis and locomotion. Neuroskeletons, plural of neuroskeleton. Neuroskepticism, skepticism of neuroscientific claims. Neurosociology, neurological sociology. Neurosoftware, computer software designed to help people to train their mental faculties. Neurosomatic, pertaining to illnesses of the body caused by neurological dysfunctions. Neurosome, synonym of pericardium. Neurosomes, plural of neurosome. Neurosonogram, an image produced by neurosonography. Neurosonographer, a sonographer whose specialty is neurosonography. Neurosonographers, plural of neurosonographer. Neurosonographic, relating to neurosonography. Neurosonography, sonography of the brain and other parts of the nervous system. Neurosonological, relating to neurosonology. Neurosonologist, a practitioner of neurosonology. Neurosonologists, plural of neurosonologists. Neurosonology, the use of ultrasound in carotid surgery. Neurosparginosis, sparginosis of the nervous system. Neurospasm, a nervous spasm or twitching of a muscle. Neurospasms, plural of neurospasm. Neurospast, a puppet, a marionette. Neurospasts, plural of neurospast. Neurospecific, specific to a particular part of the neural system. Neurospecificity, the quality of being neurospecific. Neurosphere, a free-floating structure generated in vitro by neural stem cells. Neurospheres, plural of neurosphere. Neurospherical, relating to a neurosphere. Neurospheroid, a spheroidal bundle of neurons. Neurospheroids, plural of neurospheroid. Neurospecie, neurodivergent. Neurospinal, neural and spinal. Neurosplanchnic, relating to the connection between the nervous system and the viscera. Neurosporic xanthan, a carotenoid present in fungi of the genus Neurospora. Neurosporic xanthine. Alternative form of neurosporic xanthan. Neurosporin, a carotenoid pigment that is an intermediate in the biosynthesis of lycopene and a variety of bacterial carotenoids. Neurostabilizer, a substance that helps to stabilize the neural or neurological function of the nervous system, especially an anti-epileptic medication. Neurostabilizers, plural of neurostabilizer. Neurostatistics, biostatistics of the nervous system. Neurostereological, relating to neurostereology. Neurostereology, stereology of the brain. Neurosteroid, a neuroactive steroid. Neurosteroidal, relating to neurosteroids. Neurosteroidogenesis, the genesis of neurosteroids. Neurosteroids, plural of neurosteroid. Neurosterol, a neuroactive sterol. Neurosterols, plural of neurosterol. Neurasthenia, strong reaction or overreaction of a nerve to a stimulus. Neurostimulant, any neurostimulatory material. Neurostimulants, plural of neurostimulant. Neurostimulate, to cause or to undergo neurostimulation. Neurostimulated, simple past and past participle of neurostimulate. Neurostimulates, third person singular simple present indicative of neurostimulate. Neurostimulating, present participle and gerund of neurostimulate. Neurostimulation, stimulation of neurons. Neurostimulations, plural of neurostimulation. Neurostimulator, a device that stimulates neurons. Neurostimulators, plural of neurostimulator. Neurostimulatory, that causes neurostimulation. Neurostructural, relating to neurostructure. Neurostructure, a structure of neurons in the nervous system. Neurostructures, plural of neurostructure. Neurostunner, a weapon that stuns a person by affecting their nervous system. Neurostunners, plural of neurostunner. Neurosupport, neurologic support. Neurosupporto, that helps to support the neural system. Neurosuppression, the suppression of neural activity. Neurosuppressive, relating to or causing neurosuppression. Neurosur, clipping of neurosurgery. Neurosurgeon, a surgeon specializing in brain surgery. Neurosurgeons, plural of neurosurgeon. Neurosurgeries, plural of neurosurgery. Neurosurgery, the surgical discipline focused on treating those central and peripheral nervous system diseases. Neurosurgical, of or pertaining to neurosurgery. Neurosurgically, in a neurosurgical manner with regard to or by means of neurosurgery. Neurorevival, the resistance of neurons to apoptosis. Neurosympathetic, relating to the sympathetic nervous system. Neurosymptom, any neurological symptom. Neurosymptomatic, having neurological symptoms. Neurosymptoms, plural of neurosymptom. Neurosynapse, a synapse between neurons. Neurosynapses, plural of neurosynapse. Neurosynaptic, that emulates the processes of neurons and synapses. Neurosyphilis, a syphilis infection affecting the nervous system. Neurosyphilitic, relating to or afflicted with neurosyphilis. Neurosyphilitics, plural of neurosyphilitic. Neurosyphilis, misspelling of neurosyphilis. Neurosystem, the brain and nerves and the ganglia that connect them. Neurosystemic, relating to the neurosystem. Neurosystems, plural of neurosystem. Neurotactin, the murine form of the chemokine protein. Neurotactins, plural of neurotactin. Neurotechnology. Neurotechnological, of, pertaining to, or by means of neurotechnology. Neurotechnologies, plural of neurotechnology. Neurotechnology, any technology concerned with the nervous system. Neurotendinous, of or pertaining to both a nerve and a tendon. Neurotensin, a 13 amino acid peptide that exerts neuromodulatory functions in the central nervous system and endocrine/paracrine actions in the periphery. Neurotensinergic, activated by neurotensin. Neurotensinoma, a neurotensin-producing tumor of the pancreas. Neurotensinomas, plural of neurotensinoma. Neurotensins, plural of neurotensin. Neuroteratogen, a neurological teratogen. Neuroteratogenic, relating to or causing neuroteratogens.
Here we go.
Neuroteratogens, plural of neuroteratogen. Neuroteratological, relating to any abnormal growth in the brain. Neuroterminal, synonym of an organ. Neuroterminals, plural of neuroterminal. A surname from German. Neurothekioma, a myxoma composed of cords and nests of large cells packed among collagen bundles in close proximity to small nerves. Neurothekiomas, plural of neurothekioma. Neurothelin, a cell surface glycoprotein associated with the blood/brain barrier. Neurotheological, relating to neurotheology. Neurotheology, the study of correlations of neural phenomena with the subjective experience of spirituality attained through means such as the consumption of hallucinogenic drugs. Neurotherapeutic, therapeutic to the nervous system. Neurotherapeutics, the treatment of disorders that affect the nervous system. Neurotherapies, plural of neurotherapy. Neurotherapist, a specialist in the treatment of nervous diseases. Neurotherapists, plural of neurotherapists. Neurotherapy, the treatment of nervous diseases. Neurothesiometer, a device that is used for the determination of vibration sensitivity threshold on parts of the body. Neurothesiometers, plural of neurothesiometer. Neuroths, plural of neurot. Neurotic, affected with a neurosis. Neurotically, in a neurotic manner. Neuroticism, the quality or state of being neurotic. Neuroticisms, plural of neuroticism. Neuroticistic, relating to or exhibiting neuroticism. Neuroticization, act or process of neuroticizing. Neuroticize, to make neurotic, to convert into a neurosis. Neuroticize, simple past and past participle of neuroticize. Neurotizes. Third person singular simple present indicative of neuroticize. Neuroticizing. Present participle and gerund of neuroticize. Neurotics. Plural of neurotic. Neurotization. The regeneration of a divided nerve. Neurotizations. Plural of neurotization. Neurotize. To innervate. Neurotize. Simple past and past participle of neurotize. Neurotizes. Third person singular simple present indicative of neurotize. Neurotizing. Present participle and gerund of neurotize. Neurotmesis. Plural of neurotmesis. Neurotmesis. A severe form of nerve injury in which both the axon and its encapsulating connective tissue lose their continuity. Neurotmetic. Relating to neurotmesis. Neurotologic. Of or pertaining to neurotology. Neurotological. Of or pertaining to neurotology. Neurotologist. A specialist in neurotology. Neurotologists. Plural of neurotologists. Neurotology. A branch of clinical medicine dealing with neurological disorders of the ear. Neurotome. An instrument for cutting or dissecting nerves. Neurotomes. Plural of neurotome. Neurotomical. Of or pertaining to neurotomy. Neurotomies. Plural of neurotomy. Neurotomist. One who is skilled in or practices neurotomy. Neurotomists. Plural of neurotomists. Neurotomize. To perform a neurotomy. Neurotomize. Simple past and past participle of neurotomize. Neurotomy. The dissection or anatomy of the nervous system. Neurotonic. Having a strengthening or stimulating effect on the nerves. Neurotonics. Plural of neurotonic. Anatomy of the nervous system. Neurotonic. Having a strengthening or stimulating effect on the nerves. Neurotonics. Plural of neurotonic. Neurotony. A technique of stretching and cutting a nerve formerly used to treat neuralgia. Neurotrophin. The spelling of neurotrophin. Neurotoponomics. The study of the toponome of the nervous system. Neurotoxic. Having a toxic effect on nerve tissue. Neurotoxical. Neurotoxic. Neurotoxically. In terms of or by means of neurotoxins. Neurotoxicant. Neurotoxin. Neurotoxicants. Plural of neurotoxicant. Neurotoxicities. Plural of neurotoxicity. Neurotoxicity. The state or property of being neurotoxic. Neurotoxicologic. Alternative form of neurotoxicological. Neurotoxicological. Of or pertaining to neurotoxicology. Neurotoxicologically. In terms of neurotoxicology. Neurotoxicologist. A toxicologist who specializes in neurotoxicology. Neurotoxicologists. Plural of neurotoxicologists. Neurotoxicology. The scientific study of poisoning by neurotoxins. Neurotoxicosis. Neurological dysfunction caused by neurotoxins. Neurotoxigenic. That produces neurotoxins. Neurotoxin. A toxin that specifically acts upon neurons, their synapses, or the nervous system in its entirety. Neurotoxins. Plural of neurotoxin. neurotoxicariasis, neurotoxicariasis, neurotoxicarosis, toxicariosis of the nervous system, neurotoxoplasmosis, cerebral toxoplasmosis, toxoplasma infection in the brain, neurotracer, a fluorescent tracer that adheres to neurons, neurotracers, plural of neurotracer, neurotrate, a neurological trait, neurotraits, plural of neurotrait, neurotranscriptional, relating to neurotranscription, neurotranscriptome, neurotranscriptional transcriptome, neurotranscriptomes, plural of neurotranscriptome, neurotransducer, a neural transducer that releases hormones, neurotransducers, plural of neurotransducer, neurotransformation, neurological transformation, neurotransformations, plural of neurotransformation, neurotransmission, the transfer of impulses between neurons, neurotransmissional, relating to neurotransmission, neurotransmissions, plural of neurotransmission, neurotransmissive, relating to neurotransmission, neurotransmit, to send nerve signals across a synapse between neurons, neurotransmitter, misspelling of neurotransmitter, neurotransmitters, misspelling of neurotransmitters, neurotransmitter, conveyed by means of neurotransmission, neurotransmitter, any substance, such as acetylcholine or dopamine, responsible for sending nerve signals across a synapse between two neurons. Neurotransmitters, plural of neurotransmitter. Neurotransmitting, present participle and gerund of neurotransmit. Neurotransplantation, the transplantation of neural material, typically embryonic mesencephalic tissue, as a possible cure for Parkinson's disease. Neurotransplantations, plural of neurotransplantation. Neurotransporter, a neurotransmitter that transports proteins across the membranes of neurons. Neurotransporters, plural of neurotransporter. Neurotrauma, neural trauma. Neurotraumas, plural of neurotrauma. Neurotraumatic, relating to neurotrauma. Neurotramin, a protein that is active within the limbic system. Neurotrope, a neural ciliary band in trochophores. Neurotropes, plural of neurotrope. Neurotronic, combining neural and electronic technologies. Neurotrophic, of or relating to neurotrophy. Neurotrophically, in a neurotrophic manner. Neurotrophication, the process of becoming neurotrophic. Neurotrophicity, the condition of being neurotrophic. Neurotrophin, any of a group of proteins that stimulate the growth of nerve cells. Neurotrophin, plural of neurotrophin. Neurotrophism, synonym of neurotrophy. Neuropathy, the nutrition and metabolism of tissues regulated by nerves. Neurotropic, of or pertaining to neurotropism. Neurotropin, alternative form of neurotrophin. Neurotropins, plural of neurotropin. Neurotropism, an affinity for nervous tissue. Neurotrosis, neurotrauma. Neurotrypsin, a serine peptidase stored in presynaptic nerve endings. Neurotuberculosis, tuberculosis of the central nervous system. Neurotubular, relating to neurotubules. Neurotubule, a microtubule in the synaptic ending of some neurons. Neurotubules, plural of neurotubule. Neurotumor, a nerve tumor. Neurotumoral, relating to neurotumors. Tumors, plural of neurotumor. Neurotype, a type of brain in terms of how a person interprets and responds to social cues, etc. Neurotypes, plural of neurotype. Neurotypic, alternative form of neurotypical. Neurotypical, having a typical way of processing sensory, linguistic, and social information. Neurotypicality, the quality of being neurotypical. Neurotypically, in a neurotypical manner. Neurotypicals, plural of neurotypical. Neurotypicity, the peppy of being neurotypical. Neurological. Relating to neurology. Neurology, the branch of urology that deals with disorders of the bladder related to spinal injuries and neurological disorders. Neurovariant, a strain of a virus that affects neural tissue. Neurovariants, plural of neurovariant. Neurovascular, of or pertaining to both nerves and blood vessels. Neurovascularization, the formation of a neurovascular system. Neurovascularly, in a neurovascular way. Neurovasculature, neurovascular components generally. Neurovasculatures, plural of neurovasculature. Vasculitis, inflammation of neurovasculature. Neurogenerative, relating to the autonomic nervous system. Neuroventilatory, relating to the neural control of breathing. Neurovesical, relating to neurosicles. Neurosicle, a neurosecretory vesicle. Neurosicles, plural of neurosicle. Neurostibular, relating to the nervous system and the vestibule of the inner ear. Neuroviability, the viability of neurons. Neuroviral, relating to neuroviruses. Neuroviral, logical, of or pertaining to neurovirology. Neurovirologist, a scientist in the field of neurovirology. Neurovirologists, plural of neurovirologists. Neurovirology, the scientific study of viruses capable of infecting the nervous system. Neurovirulence, virulent disease of the nervous system, especially that caused by a neurovirulent virus. Neurovirulent, capable of causing disease to the nervous system. Neurovirus, any virus affecting the nervous system. Neuroviruses, plural of neurovirus. Neurovisceral, relating to both the nervous and cerebrospinal systems. Neurovisual, neurological and visual. Neurovulnerability, vulnerability to neuronal disorders. Neuroweapon, any weapon that targets the nervous system of an enemy combatant. Neuroweapons, plural of neuroweapon. Neurula, an embryo of vertebrates in the stage when the primitive band is first developed. Neuruli, plural of neurula. Neurular, relating to a neurula. Neurulas, plural of neurula. Neurulation, the process by which the beginnings of the vertebrate nervous system is formed in embryo. Neuralations, plural of neuralation. Neuro, a kind of hybrid symbolic rule used in neurocomputing.
Here we go.
Neuros, plural of neuro. Neurotechnology, alternative form of neurotechnology. Plural of new. What? Alternative form of newsia. Notice, plural of newsies. Nuda, a Native American people who lived on the south side of Lower News River within the present Lenoir, Craven, and Carteret counties of North Carolina. These, a line segment of prescribed length, fitted between two given curves, part of a line that passes through a given point. Thus, a city, the administrative seat of Rhein-Kreis District, North Rhine-Westphalia, Germany, west of Dusseldorf. Neusargues, a part of Neusargues and Pinatel, Cantal Department, over Rhône-Alpes, France. Neustadt, a city in Ontario, Canada. Neustadt das, a town in Ostprignitz-Ruppin District, Brandenburg, Germany. Neustadt in Holstein, a town in Ostelstein, Schleswig-Holstein, Germany. Neustadts, plural of Neustadt. Neustadt, all the organisms that live at the surface of water. Neustonic, relating to Neuston. Neustins, plural of Neuston. Neustrelitz, a town in Mecklenburgisch Seenplatte District, Mecklenburg-Vorpommern, Germany. Nidit, the western part of the Frankish Empire, corresponding roughly to modern-day northern France. Neustrian, of, from, or relating to Neustria. Neustrians, plural of Neustrian. Abbreviation of neuter. Abbreviation of neuter. Neuter, neutral. On neither side, neither one thing nor another. Neuter gender, a grammatical gender in some languages, which is not masculine nor feminine, or which is not of common gender. Neuter genders, plural of neuter gender. Neuter voice, a voice which is neither active nor passive nor middle voice, a voice assigned to a copulative verb. Neuter voices, plural of neuter voice. Neuter cane, a small subtropical cyclones below 100 miles in diameter, formed from mesoscale features. Neuter canes, plural of neuter cane. Neuter, the quality of being neuter. Neuter, simple past and past participle of neuter. Neutering, the act by which something is neutered. Neuterings, plural of neutering. Neuterism, a belief in or support for gender neutrality. Neutralite, having neuter characteristics, apparently sexless. Neutoid, in a neuter manner. Neuterness, the quality of being neuter. Neuters, plural of neuter. Neuticals, prosthetic testicles for neuter dogs. Nutraceutical, alternative spelling of nutraceutical. Nutraceuticals, plural of nutraceutical. Neutral, not taking sides in a conflict such as war, non-aligned. Neutral alcohol, rectified spirit or other form of distilled alcohol with very little flavor or aroma.
Here we go.
Neutral alcohols. Plural of neutral alcohol. Neutral area. Triangular area of road surface adjacent to the gore at a fork or merge set off by painted lines and optionally covered in chevron markings. Neutral areas, plural of neutral area. Neutral citation, a citation of a case that is independent of any case reporters. Neutral citations, plural of neutral citation. Neutral clef, a symbol used for pitchless instruments, such as some of those used for percussion instruments, for which each line can represent a specific percussion instrument within a set, such as in a drum set. Neutral clefs, plural of neutral clef. Neutral confederacy, a tribal confederation of Iroquoian peoples whose heartland was in the floodplain of the Grand River in what is now Ontario, Canada. Neutral current, an exchange current which carries no electric charge and mediates certain types of electroweak interactions. Neutral currents, plural of neutral current. Neutral deduction, a score penalty that is not related to the gymnast's or team's performance, such as a penalty for wearing the incorrect attire. Neutral deductions, plural of neutral deduction. Neutral equilibrium, an equilibrium in which a small disturbance has no tendency to either return to its original state or to move further away from its original state. Neutral grain spirit, a high-proof distilled alcohol that is flavorless, odorless, and colorless. Neutral grain spirits, plural of neutral grain spirit. Neutral grape spirit, a neutral spirit made from grapes, the byproducts of wine production, or both. Neutral grape spirit, plural of neutral grape spirit. Neutral grip, a grip that is neither supinated nor pronated, but with palms facing each other. Neutral grip bar, synonym of Swiss bar. Neutral grip bars, plural of neutral grip bar. Neutral grips, plural of neutral grip. Neutral ground, the median strip or central reservation between lanes of traffic in a divided highway. Neutral grounds, plural of neutral ground. Neutral insulin, synonym of regular insulin. Neutral insulins, plural of neutral insulin. Neutral money, money which functions in a manner as to render the economic results unchanged from those of a barter economy. Neutral monies, plural of neutral money. Neutral Morsne, a small European state in present-day Belgium that existed from 1816 to 1930. Neutral nation, synonym of neutral confederacy. Neutral Paralympic athlete, alternative form of neutral Paralympic athlete. Neutral Paralympic athlete, a member of the Paralympic team known as NBA, the Neutral Paralympic athletes. Neutral Paralympic athletes, the IPC Paralympic team named for the Russian Paralympians cleared of doping offenses, while the country of Russia is excluded due to governmental sponsored doping. Neutral Paralympic athletes, plural of neutral Paralympic athlete. Neutral section, a dead section of overhead line for supplying power to trains between two live sections, used to separate two power supplies, different phases and supply voltages. Neutral sections, plural of neutral section. Neutral spirit, synonym of rectified spirit. Neutral spirits, plural of neutral spirit. Neutral third, a third that is between a major and a minor third in size, an interval of approximately 3.5 semitones. Neutral thirds, plural of neutral third. Neutral tone, the lack of one of the four primary phonetic tones of Chinese, sometimes viewed as a tone in its own right. The neutral tone is emergent in Upanian. Neutral tone. Neutral tone. Neutral vowel. Neutral vowels. Plural of neutral vowel. Neutral zone. A former area between Saudi Arabia and Iraq, abolished 1991. Neutral zone. A zone between the defensive line of scrimmage and the offensive line of scrimmage. Neutral zones. Plural of neutral zone. Neutral zone infraction. An infraction in which a football player, on defense, gets into or crosses the neutral zone during the snap, causing an offensive player to false start. The penalty is against the defense, not the offense. It is a 5-yard penalty. Neutral zone infractions. Plural of neutral zone infraction. Neutralino. Any of several hypothetical particles predicted by supersymmetry related to neutrinos. Neutralinos. Plural of neutralino. Neutralization. The act of neutralizing.
Invincible.
Neutralizations. Plural of neutralization. Neutralize. Non-Oxford British English standard form of neutralize. Neutralize. Simple past and past participle of neutralize. Neutralizer. Alternative spelling of neutralizer. Neutralizers. Plural of neutralizer. Neutralizes. Third person singular simple present indicative of neutralize. Neutralizing. Present participle and gerund of neutralize. Neutralism. The state of being neutral. Neutrality. Neutralisms. Plural of neutralism. Neutralists. Of or relating to neutralism. Neutralistic. Employing or relating to neutralism. Neutralistically. In a neutralistic manner. Neutralists. Plural of neutralists. Neutralities. Plural of neutrality. Neutrality. The state or quality of being neutral. The condition of being unengaged in contests between others. State of taking no part on either side. Neutralizability. Suitability. Or potential for being neutralized. Neutralizable. Capable of being neutralized. Neutralization. The act of neutralizing. Neutralization number. Synonym of acid value. Neutralizations. Plural of neutralization. Neutralize. To make even, inactive, or ineffective. Neutralize. Simple past and past participle of neutralize. Neutralizer. That which neutralizes. Neutralizers. Plural of neutralizer. Neutralizes. Alternative spelling of neutralizes. Third person singular simple present indicative of neutralize. Neutralizing. Present participle and gerund of neutralize. Neutrally. In a neutral manner, even-handedly or fairly. Neutralness. The state or quality of being neutral. Neutralophile. Any organism that thrives in a relatively neutral pH range. Neutralophiles. Plural of neutralophile. Neutralophilic. Of or pertaining to a neutralophile. Neutrals. Plural of neutral. Neutrovidin. A deglycosylated version of Avidin. Neutretto. The muon neutrino. Neutretos. Plural of neutretto. Nutraceutical. Alternative spelling of nutraceutical. Nutraceuticals. Plural of nutraceutical. Nutritic. relating to neutrinos. Neutrino, an elementary particle that is classified as a lepton and has an extremely small but non-zero mass and no electric charge. It interacts with the surroundings only via the weak force or gravitation, making it very difficult to detect. Neutrino astronomy, the detection and study of neutrinos in order to investigate astronomical objects and the universe. Neutrinoless, not containing or involving neutrinos. Neutrinophilic, having an affinity with neutrinos. Neutrinos, plural of neutrino. Neutrinosphere, the region of a star or supernova rich in neutrinos. Neutrinospheres, plural of neutrinosphere. Neutrinospheric, of or pertaining to a neutrinosphere. Neutride, synonym of neutronium. Neutrium, synonym of neutronium. Neutral, neutral. Neutropassive, alternative form of neutropassive. Neutroclusion, a condition in which the anteroposterior occlusion of the teeth is normal. Neutroclusions, plural of neutroclusion. Neutroceptor, a sensory receptor that is stimulated by both pleasant and unpleasant stimuli. Neutroceptors, plural of neutroceptor. Neutroclusion, a condition in which the anteroposterior occlusion of the teeth are normal. Neutroclusions, plural of neutroclusion. Neutrocyte. Neutrophil. Neutrocytes, plural of neutrocyte. Neutrocytic, relating to or composed of neutrocytes. Neutrocytopenia, an abnormally low concentration of neutrocytes in the blood. Neutrocytosis, neutrophilia. Neutrodye, a kind of tuned radio frequency TRF receiver in which the instability causing interelectrode capacitance of the triode RF tubes is cancelled out to prevent parasitic oscillations that cause unwanted noise. Neutrodynes, plural of neutrodyne. Neutroctodermal, misspelling of neuroctodermal. Neurois, having a null or neutral gender being neither male nor female, and having or seeking to have no or reduced signs of physical sex. Neutralogistic, neither eulogistic nor dyslogistic, having a neutral effect with neither positive nor negative connotations. Neutron, a subatomic particle forming part of the nucleus of an atom and having no charge. It is a combination of an up quark and two down quarks. Neutron activation analysis, plural of neutron activation analysis. Neutron activation analysis, an analytical technique that measures the decay of elements when bombarded with neutrons. Neutron bomb, an atomic bomb that produces a greater amount of neutrons and a lesser amount of blast, the intention being to create equal lethal neutron radiation and blast radii which increases the effectiveness of the weapon against armor while reducing collateral damage. Neutron bombs, plural of neutron bomb. Neutron capture, a form of nuclear reaction in which one or more neutrons are absorbed by an atomic nucleus. Neutron cross-section, the cross-section probability of a neutron capture reaction. Neutron cross-sections, plural of neutron cross-section. Neutron diffraction, the interference process which occurs when neutrons are scattered by the atoms within solids, liquids, and gases. Neutron drip line, The jagged line on a chart showing the number of protons and neutrons of all known isotopes beyond which neutron-rich nuclei are unstable and emit neutrons. Neutron drift lines. Plural of neutron drift line. Neutron emission. A nuclear reaction in which one or more neutrons are emitted. Neutron flux. The number of neutrons passing through something per unit area per unit time. Neutron fluxes. Plural of neutron flux. Neutron halo. A phenomenon that occurs in atomic nuclei when one or more neutrons tunnel out of the nucleus and into the surrounding space. Neutron halos. Plural of neutron halo. Neutron interferometer. A device capable of diffracting neutrons and studying their wave-like characteristics. Neutron interferometers. Plural of neutron interferometer. Neutron matter. Matter consisting entirely of neutrons. Neutron number. The number of neutrons in the nucleus of an atom or isotope. Symbol. N. Neutron numbers. Plural of neutron number. Neutron optics. The general field of study that employs the wave-like character of neutrons. Neutron poison. Synonym for nuclear poison. Neutron poisons. Plural of neutron poison. Neutron radiation. A form of non-ionizing radiation consisting of free neutrons. Neutron scattering. Any of several techniques that use the wave-like behavior of neutrons as a scientific probe. Neutron spectrometry. The field of study in which neutrons are used as a probe for measuring the excited states of nuclides. Neutron star. A degenerate star that has been so collapsed by gravity that its electrons and protons have emerged into neutrons by the intense pressure. The solid mass of neutrons is sometimes called neutronium. Neutron stars. Plural of neutron star. Neutron degenerate matter. Matter that is subject to such huge pressure that electrons are forced into nuclei to form neutrons. Neutron star matter. Neutron rich. Having a large ratio of neutrons to protons. Neutron richer. Comparative form of neutron rich. More neutron rich. Neutron richest. Superlative form of neutron rich. Most neutron rich. Neutronic. Relating to neutrons or to neutronics. Neutronics. The flow of a stream of neutrons. Neutronium. A material composed entirely of neutrons. Neutronization. The process, such as within a collapsing star, in which protons and electrons fuse to form neutrons and release neutrinos. Neutrons. Plural of neutron. Neutropenia. Alternative form of neutropenia. Neutropenias. Plural of neutropenia. Neutropenic. Alternative form of neutropenic. Neutropassive. The past perfect tense of a neuter intransitive verb which is formed by a passive participle. Neutropause. The boundary between the neutracy and the iracy. Neutropauses. Plural of neutropause. Neutropenia. A hematological disorder characterized by an abnormally low neutrophil count. Neutropenias. Plural of neutropenia. Neutropenic. Relating to or having neutropenia. Neutropenics. Plural of neutropenic. Neutrophil. Of a cell being more easily or more fully stained by neutral dyes than by acidic or alkaline basic ones. Neutrophil granulocyte. Synonym of neutrophil. Neutrophil granulocytes. Plural of neutrophil granulocyte. Neutrophile. any organism that thrives in a relatively neutral pH. Neutrophiles, plural of neutrophile. Neutrophilia, the presence of unusually many neutrophil granulocytes in the blood. Neutrophilius, plural of neutrophilia. Neutrophilic, of or pertaining to neutrophils. Neutrophilic granulocyte, synonym of neutrophil. Neutrophilic granulocytes, plural of neutrophilic granulocyte. Neutrophiliopoiesis, the creation of neutrophils. Neutrophils, plural of neutrophil. Neutrophin, misspelling of neurotrophin. Neutropenia, alternative form of neutropenia. Neutroponias, plural of neutroponia. Neutropoiesis, the production of neutrocytes. Neutropoietic, relating to neutropoiesis. Neurosophic, of or relating to a general form of logic in which each proposition has separate values for truth, falsehood, and indeterminacy. Neutrosophically, in a neurosophic manner. Neurosophics, neurosophic probability or statistics. Neutrosophy, neurosophic logic. Neutrosphere, the unionist layer of the atmosphere between the surface and the ionosphere. Neutrospheres, plural of neutrosphere. Neurotrophic, misspelling of neurotrophic. Neutrophin, misspelling of neurotrophin. Nutzletowitz, a village in Saarlandkreis district, Saxony-Anhalt, Germany. Neuvillers-le-Juilly, a commune that is located in northern France. Uwe, a town and rural district of Rhineland-Palatinate, Germany. Neuer, a surname from German. Neuers, plural of newer. Neuer, a surname from Czech. Na, initialism of neighborhood electric vehicle or neighborhood electric vehicle. Na, a diminutive of the male given name Neville. Navy, nanoelectric. Volt. Never, contraction of never. Nav, abbreviation of Nevada, a state of the United States as used in case citations. Neva, a river in Russia on which the St. Petersburg city is placed. Nevada, a state in the western United States. Capital, Carson City. Largest city, Las Vegas. Nevada bluegrass, the American Graspoa secunda. Nevada City, a city, the county seat of Nevada County, California. United States. Nevada County, one of 75 counties in Arkansas, United States. County seat, Prescott. It was so named as it is roughly the shape of the state of Nevada when inverted. Nevada Day, a public holiday in Nevada celebrated on the last Friday in October, commemorating the state's October 31, 1864 admission to the Union. Nevada Fedra, a gray, leafless shrub native to dry, rocky or sandy areas of western North America and used to make an herbal tea, Ephedra nevadensis. Nevada gas, hydrogen cyanide, used in the gas chamber. Nevada joint fir, a gray, leafless shrub native to dry, rocky or sandy areas of western North America and used to make an herbal tea, Ephedra nevadensis. Nevada Triangle, a region bounded by the vertices at Reno, Nevada, U.S., Las Vegas, Nevada, U.S., Fresno, California, U.S., containing part of the Sierra Nevada, a mountain range in the Rocky Mountain Cordillera. The triangle falling mostly in the U.S. state of Nevada, where many plane crashes occur and planes disappear. Nevadae, an orthorhombic sphenoidal mineral containing aluminum, copper, fluorine, hydrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, vanadium, and zinc. Nevadan, a native or resident of the state of Nevada in the United States of America. Nevadans, plural of Nevadan. Nevada plano, a high elevation orogenic plateau that once existed during the Tertiary period in what is modern North America's Great Basin, analogous to today's high elevation South American Altiplano. Nevadian, Nevadan. Nevadians, plural of Nevadian. Nevadidae, any trilobite of the family Nevadidae. Nevadae, a great variety of rhyolites. Nevado de Toluca, a stratovolcano in central Mexico. Nevado del Ruiz, a volcano on the border of the departments of Caldas and Tolima in Colombia. Nevado Sajama, an extinct stratovolcano and the highest peak in Bolivia. Neve, a female given name originating as a coinage. Neva, never. Nevanlena, a surname from Finnish. Nevanlena theory, a part of the theory of meromorphic functions that describes the asymptotic distribution of solutions to the equation letter 192z equals a as it varies. Navar, alternative form of Nuor. Nevers, a surname from Spanish. Neversees, plural of Nevers. Neverez, a surname. Neverez, plural of Neverez. Nevas, a surname. Vip, a surname from Middle English. Neve, the fern or snowfield at the head of a glacier. Neville, a surname. Neveling, on one's face, face down. Nevils, plural of Neville. Neva, to give as a name to name, call someone something. Never, at no time, on no occasion, in no circumstance. Never a dull moment. There is always something interesting happening. There is no chance of boredom. Never again, at no time in the future, usually said of a negative event, practice, etc. which should not be allowed to reoccur. Never ask the barber if you need a haircut. Do not seek advice from a biased party. Never been kissed. 16. Never change a running system. Do not change something while it is working because there's a risk of breaking it. Never eat shredded wheat. Used to learn the cardinal points. Never eat soggy waffles. Alternative form of never eat shredded wheat. Never eat soggy wheat. Alternative form of never eat shredded wheat. Never event. A bad event that should never occur. Never events. Plural of never event. Never ever. Never. Never ever have I. Synonym of I have never. Game of forfeits. Never fear. Used other than figuratively or idiomatically. See never fear. Never fight a land war in Asia. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Don't start a fight that is too big to win. Never have I ever. Synonym of I have never. Game of forfeits. Never in a million years? Absolutely not. Never in a month of Sundays. At no time whatsoever. Never judge a book by its cover. Alternative form of you can't judge a book by its cover. Never look a gift horse in the mouth. Alternative form of don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Never meet your heroes. It is unwise to seek personal acquaintance with people whom one has regarded with high esteem, as they often fail to fulfill one's expectations, resulting in disappointment. Never mind. It is not important. Do not fret. Use to reassure or comfort the person to whom it is said. Never minds. Plural of never mind. Never put off until tomorrow what you can do today. Do not procrastinate whatever that can be done today until tomorrow. Never say die. One should not despair. The outlook may be better than it seems, so one should not give up. Never say never. Anything can happen. A certain option should not be totally dismissed. Never sick at sea. Having all the qualifications and abilities one could possibly ask for, or almost anyway. Never smoker. Non-standard spelling of never smoker. Never smokers. Plural of never smoker. Never start a land war in Asia. Synonym of never fight a land war in Asia.
Here we go.
Never the twain shall meet. Used to emphasize that two subjects are so different that they cannot coexist or agree with each other. Never the wiser. Synonym of none the wiser. Never trumper. A conservative, especially a Republican, who opposes Donald Trump. Never trumpers. Plural of never trumper. Never trust me. Used in notes, suggesting that one should never be trusted again if what one says now is not true. Never waste a crisis. Exploit any possible opportunity that arises from difficult situations. Never you mind. Do not concern yourself with it. It is none of your business. Never. Never have. Never dying. Everlasting. Unceasing. Never-ending. Alternative form of never-ending. Never married. Someone who has never been married. Never married. Plural of never married. Never. The hire purchase system or credit purchases. Neverland. A fantastic or imaginary place. Never nude. Someone who wears clothes all the time, even for example when showering. Never nudes. Plural of never nude. Never say die. That does not give up in despair. Indomitable. Never smoker. A person who has never been a cigarette smoker or cigar smoker. Never smokers. Plural of never smoker. Never sweat. An idle or lazy person. Never sweats. Plural of never sweat. Never trumper. Alternative form of never trumper. Never trumpers. Plural of never trumper. Never was. One who has never achieved success or popularity. Never wasser. Alternative form of never wasser. Never wassers. Plural of never wasser. Never was there. Alternative form of never wasser. Never was theirs. Plural of never was there. Never waser. Alternative form of never waser. Never wasers. Plural of never waser. Never wasser. Alternative form of never wasser. Never wassers. Plural of never wasser. Never wears. Plural of never was. Never would be. One who will never achieve a great amount of success. Never would best. Plural of never would be. Never waser. An individual who has never achieved anything in a particular field. one who has had an unsuccessful career. Never waters, plural of never waser. Never-ending, plural of never-ending. Never-ending, having no end or being endless. Never-endingly, in a never-ending manner, endlessly. Never-ending, a series of referendums on the same issue held in an attempt to achieve an unpopular result. Never-endings, plural of never-ending. Never fade, never fading, permanent. Never land, an ideal or imaginary place, a dream world. Neverlands, plural of never land. Never mind, attention, heed. Never minded, simple past and past participle of never mind. Never minding, present participle and gerund of never mind. Never minds, plural of never mind. Never row, a never Mormon. Nevermore, never again. Never, a community and small village in North Pembrokeshire, Wales OS grid ref SN0840. Neverness, the quality of being ever being if stat are present. Nevers, a place name. Neversink, a river in New York which flows into the Delaware. Never smoker, alternative form of never smoker. Never smokers, plural of never smoker. Nevertheless, nevertheless, in spite of what preceded, yet. Nevertheless, obsolete spelling of nevertheless. Neverthelessly, synonym of nevertheless. Never the more, not anymore, no longer. Never thriving, a group of jugglers. Never thrivings, plural of never thriving. Never, never. A time that will not come. Never, Oranium aquaticum, a flowering plant. Never waser, alternative form of never waser. Never wathers, plural of never waser. Miss, plural of neve. Neves, plural of neve. Neves to roof, and odds of 7:4. Nephew, a surname from French. Neves, plural of nephew. Nelly, alternative form of Nevi. Nevi, plural of Nevis. Nevi, a subdivision of the Hebrew Testament Tanakh that is known in English as the Prophets. This section is subdivided into two sections, the former prophets and the latter prophets. The latter prophets is further subdivided into the major prophets and the minor prophets known as the 12. Navis, plural of Navi. Neville, a surname from Old French, a variant of Neville. Neville, a surname. Neville, a surname from Old French, a variant of Neville. Neville, a surname from Old French. Neville Longbottom, to unexpectedly become significantly more attractive after going through puberty. Neville Longbottom, simple past and past participle of Neville Longbottom. Neville Longbottoming, present participle and active after going through puberty. Neville Longbottom, simple past and past participle of Neville Longbottom. Neville Longbottoming, present participle and gerund of Neville Longbottom. Neville Longbottoms, Third person singular simple present indicative of Neville Longbottom. Nevel-sur-Mer, a coastal settlement in Vic-sur-Mer commune, Manche department, Normandy, France. Nevels, plural of Neville. Nevels, a surname from German.
Here we go.
Nevelses, plural of Nevels. Nevin, a male given name. Nevinominsk, a city in Stavropol Krai, Russia. Nevins, a surname. Nevirapine, an antiretroviral drug CHN4O structurally related to the benzodiazepines that inhibits reverse transcriptase and is administered orally in combination with at least one other antiretroviral to treat HIV-1 infection. Nevis, an island of St. Kitts and Nevis. Novitian, from or pertaining to the Caribbean island of Nevis. Novitians, plural of Novitian. Nevit, a surname. Nevets, plural of Nevet. Nevjensky, alternative form of Nevienskite. Nevo syndrome, a rare autosomal recessive disorder that usually begins during the later stages of pregnancy. Nevo, Neves, Nevocellular, relating to or composed of Nevis cells. Nevocyte, a Nevis cell. Nevocytes, plural of Nevocyte. Nevoid, alternative form of nevoid. Nevoid basal cell carcinoma syndrome. Alternative spelling of nevoid basal cell carcinoma syndrome. Nevoid basal cell carcinoma syndrome, an inherited medical condition involving defects within multiple body systems such as the skin, nervous system, eyes, endocrine system, and bones. Nevo, synonym of Pima Bajo Mexican indigenous language. Nevomelanocide, one of the melanocytes making up a nevis. Nevomelanocytes, plural of nevomelanocyte. Nevomelanocytic, relating to nevomelanocytes. Nevexanthondophilioma, juvenile xanthogranuloma. Nevexanthondophliomas, plural of Nevexanthondophilioma. Nevexanthondophiliomata, plural of Nevexanthondophilioma. Nevexanthogranuloma, juvenile xanthogranuloma. Neverthid, any lay swing in the family Neverthidae. Neverthids, plural of Neverthid. Nevres, alternative form of Noras. Nev, plural of Nev. Neves, plural of Nevi. Nevşehir, a province in central Turkey. Nevsky, a trigonal hexagonal scalenohedral lead gray mineral containing bismuth, selenium, and sulfur. Nevuary, synonym of Neveruary humerus never. Neva, pronunciation spelling of never. Navas, any of a number of different, usually benign, pigmented, raised, or otherwise abnormal lesions of the skin. Nevis flammeus, alternative form of Nevis flammeus. Nevis flammeus nucky, a congenital and usually temporary capillary malformation in a newborn. It is generally pink and flat, and it is caused by the dilation of blood vessels. Nevis lipomatosis superficialis, a skin condition characterized by soft, yellowish papules or cerebriform plaques, usually of the buttock or thigh, with a wrinkled rather than warty surface. Nelly, alternative form of nevi.
Here we go.
Nevis, plural of nevi. Nelly, a grandson. Nelly, alternative form of nevi and nephew. Nevienste, a variety of osmiridium containing over 40% iridium. Recently made. Nuadi, a village in Kirkcudbrightshire, Dumfries and Galloway Council area, Scotland OS Grid Ref NX 9666. Nuabra, a barangay of Matalam, Cotabato, Philippines. New Addington, a suburban town in the borough of Croydon, Greater London, England OS Grid Ref TQ 3862. New administrative capital, an urban community in Cairo Governorate, Egypt, planned to be Egypt's capital city. No adult, a genre of fiction intended to be marketed to people ages 18 to 30, focusing on issues such as leaving home, developing sexuality, and negotiating education and career choices. New Age, a war relating to a broad movement in Western culture, covering a wide variety of alternative spiritual and philosophical ideas, often spirituality, mysticism, holism, and environmentalism, and partially based on Eastern religions such as Buddhism and Hinduism that developed toward the end of the 20th century. New Age, a modern spiritual and religious movement covering a wide variety of alternative spiritual and philosophical ideas that developed towards the end of the 20th century. New Age music, a genre of music of a mystical and meditative nature associated with New Age philosophies, usually in the style of world music and using the sounds of nature. New Age traveler, a member of a community of people, many of whom hold New Age beliefs, who travel among fairs and music festivals. New Age traveler, alternative form of New Age traveler. New Age travelers, plural of New Age traveler. New Ageism, New Age beliefs and practices generally. New Ageists, New Ager. New Ageists, plural of New Ages. New Ager, one who espouses New Age beliefs. New Ager, alternative form of New Ager. New Agers, plural of New Ager. New Agers, plural of New Ager. New Agey, pertaining to or suggesting New Age beliefs. New Agey, alternative form of New Agey. New Albany, a number of places in the United States. New Albion, all of the territory of North America north of New Spain, as claimed by Sir Francis Drake for England in 1579. New Alresford, a small town and civil parish with a town council in Winchester District, Hampshire, England OS Grid Ref SU 5832. New American, belonging to a style of modern American fusion cuisine originating in the 1980s with innovative use of seasoning and sauces. New Americans, plural of New American. New Amsterdam, the capital city of New Netherland, a colony of the Netherlands, the Dutch colonial settlement that later became New York City. New Antique, a barangay of Mlang, Cotabato, Philippines. New Aquitaine, alternative form of Nouvelle Aquitaine, an administrative region in southwestern France, established in 2016 by the merger of Aquitaine, Limousin, and Poitou-Charentes. New Ash Green, a village in Ashcombe-Ridley Parish, Sevenoaks District, Kent, England OS Grid Ref TQ 6065. New Asturias, a barangay of Mako, Davao de Oro, Philippines. New Atheism, a form of atheism that promotes active opposition to religion rather than toleration. New Atheist, an atheist who identifies with the New Atheism movement. New Atheists. Plural of New Atheist. New Athos, a town in Abkhazia. New Augusta, a town, the county seat of Perry County, Mississippi, United States. New Australian, a post-WW2 migrant to Australia, especially one from Europe whose first language was not English. New Australians, plural of New Australian. New Agro, a barangay of Macalala, Cotabato, Philippines. New ball, a cricket ball never previously used in a match, a replacement new cricket ball taken by the captain of the bowling side at certain specified times during an innings. New balls, plural of new ball. New Barak, a left banner in Hilandur, Inner Mongolia Autonomous Region, China. New Baraza, a barangay of Mlang, Cotabato, Philippines. New Barili, a barangay of Mako, Davao de Oro, Philippines. New Bar, a settlement in Longfield and New Barn Parish, Dartford Borough, Kent, England OS Grid Ref TQ 6268. New Barnet, a suburb in the borough of Barnet, Greater London, England OS Grid Ref TQ 2696. New Basford, a suburb of Nottingham, Nottinghamshire, England OS Grid Ref SK 5642. Newbie, a Belgian electronic dance music genre of the 1980s that fused elements of new wave, high NRG, electronic body music, acid house, and hip-hop. New Beckenham, a suburb in the borough of Bromley, Greater London, England OS Grid Ref TQ 3670. New Bedford, a city in Bristol County, Massachusetts, United States. New Beige, nickname for New Bedford, a city in Bristol County, Massachusetts, United States. New Bengali, the contemporary Bengali language that developed from Middle Bengali, spoken since 1800. New Berlin, a number of places in the United States. New Bern, a city, the county seat of Craven County, North Carolina, named for Bern, Switzerland. New Berrima, a village in Wingecarribee Shire, Southern Highlands, New South Wales, Australia. New Bethlehem, a barangay of Loch Davao de Oro, Philippines. New Bilton, a western suburb of Rugby, Warwickshire, England OS Grid Ref SB 4975. New Blood, a person or people newly brought into a project or organization, a new hire or new member. New Bloomfield, a minor city in Cedar Township, Callaway County, Missouri, United States. New Bolingbroke, a village in Carrington Parish, East Lindsey District, Lincolnshire, England OS Grid Ref TF 3057. New Bombay, synonym of Navi Mumbai. New Boston, the name of several places in the United States of America. New Bradwell, a suburban village and civil parish northeast of Wolverton, Milton Keynes Borough, Buckinghamshire, England OS Grid Ref SB 8241. New Braunfels, a city, the county seat of Como County, Texas, United States. New bread, bread prepared on a Sunday morning and consumed within 6 hours. New breads, plural of new bread. New Brighton, a seaside resort in Wallasey, Metropolitan Borough of Wirral, Merseyside, England OS Grid Ref SJ 3093. New Britain, an island of Papua New Guinea. New Britain bubuk, a species of bubuk owl, Ninox odiosa, endemic to New Britain in the Bismarck Archipelago. New Britain Bubooks, plural of New Britain Bubuk. New Broom, a new leader or management. New Brooms, plural of New Broom. New Broom Sweep Clean. Alternative form of a New Broom sweeps clean. New Brunswick, a province in eastern Canada. Capital, Fredericton. New Brunswicker, a native or inhabitant of the province of New Brunswick, Canada. New Brunswickers, plural of New Brunswicker. New Buckingham, a village and civil parish in Breckland District, Norfolk, England. OS grid ref TM 0890. New what? A new pupil. New buds, plural of new bud. New buildings, a large village in County Londonderry, Northern Ireland. New Beolatucan, a barangay of Macalala, Cotabato, Philippines. Caesarea, former name of New Jersey Colonial Province, a former colony, a former province of the 13 colonies, British North America, British Empire. Caesarea, alternative form of New Caesarea. New Caledonia, an archipelago and overseas territory of France in Oceania. Official name, Territory of New Caledonia and Dependencies. New Caledonian, of, from, or pertaining to New Caledonia, any sense, its people or language. New Caledonian crow. Corvus munguloides, a medium-sized crow, native to New Caledonia. New Caledonian crows, plural of New Caledonian crow. New Caledonian sea crate, Laticata Saint-Gyron, a species of venomous snake native to the waters around New Caledonia. It likes to spend its time onshore or in shallow water. New Caledonian sea crates, plural of New Caledonian sea crate. New Caledonians, plural of New Caledonian. New Canaan, a town and census-designated place in Fairfield County, Connecticut, United States. New Candle, a unit of luminous intensity, such that the brightness of the full radiator at the temperature of solidification of platinum is 60 new candles per square centimeter, superseded by the candela. New candles, plural of new candle. New canvas, synonym of blank canvas. New canvases, plural of new canvas. New Carrollton, a city in Prince George's County, Maryland, United States. New Castile, a region of Spain consisting of the provinces of Ciudad Real, Cuenca, Guadalajara, Madrid, and Toledo. New Castle, a home rule municipality of Garfield County, Colorado, United States. New Castle County, one of 3 counties in Delaware, United States. Seat, Wilmington. New Cedro, a barangay of Macalala, Cotabato, Philippines. New Chester, a community in St. Mary's District Municipality, Guysborough County, Nova Scotia, Canada. New Chichester, a former town in Pennsylvania, British North America, now divided into Upper and Lower Chichester. New Christian, one of the Iberian Muslims and Jews who converted to Roman Catholicism, or their known baptized descendants. New Christians, plural of New Christian. New Chum, a New Yearite convict. New Chums, plural of New Chum. New Church, Swedenborgianism. New Circus, synonym of contemporary circus. New circuses, plural of new circus. New City, a hamlet and census-designated place, the county seat of Rockland County, Clarkstown, New York, United States. New Clark City is a planned community under development located within the Clark Special Economic Zone in the towns of Capas and Bamban at the Tarlac Province, Philippines. New class, the privileged ruling class of bureaucrats and Communist Party functionaries that arose in states that followed the Soviet style of communism. New classes, plural of new class. Newcley, a suburb of Grimsby, northeast Lincolnshire district, Lincolnshire, England, OS grid RFTA 2810. New Cocoyam, the Cocoyam xanthosoma sagittifolium or other xanthosoma, so called to distinguish it from old Cocoyam. New Cocoyams, plural of new Cocoyam. New Cold War, synonym of Cold War Roman II. Newcomer, dated form of newcomer. Newcomers, plural of newcomer. New Comic Book Day, the day of the week on which new comic books go on sale, conventionally Wednesday. New Commandment, Jesus Christ's exhortation to love one another, part of the final instructions given to his disciples after the Last Supper. New Commonwealth, recently decolonized countries, especially non-white developing countries. New Connecticut, synonym of Connecticut Western Reserve. New Consolacion, a barangay of Mlang, Cotabato, Philippines. New Cordell, a city, the county seat of Washita County, Oklahoma, United States. New Corella, a municipality of Davao del Norte, Philippines. New Country Project, a micronation that has a serious intention of being internationally recognized. New Country Projects, plural of New Country Project. New Covenant, an interpretation of the Bible, originally derived from a phrase in the book of Jeremiah, and often thought of as an eschatological messianic age or world to come. New Critic, an adherent of or participant in New Criticism. New Criticism, a movement in literary theory that dominated American literary criticism in the middle of the 20th century, emphasizing close reading, particularly of poetry, to discover how a work functions as a self-contained, self-referential aesthetic object. New Cross, a place in England. New Cross Gate, an urban area of the borough of Lewisham, London, England, adjacent to New Cross OS grid ref TQ 3677. New Cumberland, a borough in Cumberland County, Pennsylvania, United States. New Comac, a small town in East Ayrshire Council area, Scotland OS grid ref NS 6113. New Cayama, a census-designated place in Santa Barbara County, California, United States. Moved on, a new beginning, a fresh start, an important, promising turning point. New Dawns, plural of New Dawn. New Deal, a series of domestic programs enacted in the United States between 1933 and 1938 in response to the Great Depression, focusing on relief, recovery, and reform. New Dealer, a proponent of the New Deal. New Dealers, plural of New Dealer. New Dealism, the politics associated with the New Deal, a series of domestic programs enacted in the United States between 1933 and 1938 in response to the Great Depression, focusing on relief, recovery, and reform. New Delhi, the capital city of India located in the National Capital Territory of Delhi. New Delhi metallo-beta-lactamase 1, an enzyme conferring resistance to beta-lactam antibiotics. New Delhi metallo-beta-lactamase 1. Alternative form of New Delhi metallo-beta-lactamase 1. New Democrat. New Democrat. A member or supporter of the Canadian New Democratic Party. New Democratic. Of or pertaining to the Canadian New Democratic Party or supporters thereof. New Democratic Party. A Canadian Social Democratic political party which fields candidates in both federal and provincial elections. New Democrats. Plural of New Democrat. New Dems. Plural of New Dem. New Denmark. A rural community of Victoria County, New Brunswick, Canada. New Denver. A village on Slocan Lake in the West Kootenay region of southeast British Columbia, Canada. New Drachma. A proposed or theoretical currency of Greece which would replace the euro. New Drachmi. Plural of New Drachma. New Drachmi. Plural of New Drachma. New Drachmas. Plural of New Drachma. New Duck disease. Synonym of antitype stiffer disease. New Durham. A community in Norwich Township, Oxford County, Ontario, Canada. New Earswick. A suburban village and civil parish in City of York District, North Yorkshire, England. OS Grid Ref SC 6055. New Edinburgh. The capital of the short-lived Scottish colony of New Caledonia 1698-1700, now Sucania, aka Puerto Escasez, Spanish for Port Scotland. New Eltham. A suburb in the borough of Greenwich and borough of Bexley, Greater London, England. OS Grid Ref TQ 4472. New Empire. Synonym of New Kingdom. New a place in England. New Energy Vehicle. An alternative energy vehicle. A vehicle which is fueled by an uncommon energy source as compared to the vast marketplace of conventionally fueled vehicles as of the turn of the 21st century. New Energy Vehicles. Plural of New Energy Vehicle. New England. A geographic region of the northeastern United States, consisting of Connecticut, Maine, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, and Vermont. New England Aster. A Megalus daisy of species Zymphiad, which are Novangli. New England Asters. Plural of New England Aster. New England Baked Beans. A comfort food dish that originated in the New England region of the United States. New England Clam Chowder. A variety of clam chowder that is white due to be made with cream and potatoes. New England Clam Chowders. Plural of New England Clam Chowder. New England Classicists. Synonym of Second New England School. New England Theology. Synonym of Edwardianism. New Englander. A person from New England. New Englanders. Plural of New Englander. New England dish. Synonym of New Englandy. New Englandism. A word or phrase characteristic of New England. New Englandisms. Plural of New Englandism. New Englandly. Synonym of New Englandy. New England dress. A female New Englander. New England dresses. Plural of New England dress. New Englandy. Similar to or reminiscent of New England. New English. The form of the English language spoken since the Great Vowel Shift in England, completed in roughly 1550. New Englishes. Plural of New English. New Englishman. A male inhabitant of New England, a New Englander. New Englishman. Plural of New Englishman. New Englishwoman. a female inhabitant of New England. New English women. Plural of New English woman. No era. A barangay of Quezon City, Metro Manila, Philippines. New Esperanza. A barangay of Emlang, Cotabato, Philippines. Nui, synonym of Mary Mary, Mother of Jesus. Newfangled, alternative form of newfangled. New federalism, a political philosophy of the transfer of certain powers from the United States federal government back to the individual states. New Federalists, a supporter of New Federalism. New Federalists, plural of New Federalists. New Fire Ceremonies. Plural of New Fire Ceremony. New Fire Ceremony, an Aztec ceremony performed once every 52 years, intended to stave off the end of the world. It involved putting out all existing fires, then starting a fire containing the heart of a human sacrifice and transporting that fire around the city. New Forest, a large area, forest and national park in Wiltshire and Hampshire, southern England. New Forest Ponies, plural of New Forest Pony. New Forest Pony, a horse of a breed indigenous to the New Forest in Hampshire, England. New Forester, a New Forest Pony. New Foresters, plural of New Forester. New France, a group of former French colonies in North America, existing from 1534 to 1763 in much of modern eastern Canada and the United States. New French Extremity, a transgressive group of films by French directors at the turn of the 21st century, having themes of sex, violence, and mental derangement. New Frontier, a series of programs launched by President John F. Kennedy. New Galloway, a small town in Dumfries and Galloway Council area, Scotland, historically in Kirkcudbright OS Grid Ref NX 6377. New Game Plus, alternative form of New Game Plus. New Game Plus, the option to play again through a previously completed game, carrying over characters, attributes, or equipment from the previous play session. New General Catalog, a catalog of deep sky objects compiled in the 1880s by J. L. Dreyer using observations mostly from William Herschel. It contains nearly 8,000 objects known as the NGC objects. Objects in the catalog are numbered, and the letters NGC are appended to these numbers, as in NGC 224, the Andromeda Galaxy, or NGC 6205, the globular cluster in Hercules. New Georgia, the largest of the islands in Western Province, Solomon Islands. New Ginger, synonym of Young Ginger, of New Ginger. New Glasgow, a town in Nova Scotia, Canada. New Granada, a historical province in colonial South America corresponding to present-day Colombia and Ecuador. New Greek, synonym of modern Greek. New Guard, a person who is more willing to accept new ideas than their peers are. New Guards, plural of New Guard. New Guinea, a large island in the Pacific Ocean north of Australia and Oceania, whose territory is divided between Indonesia in the west and Papua New Guinea in the east. New Guinea Flightless Rail, a bird from the family Rallidae, Megacrex inepta. New Guinea flightless rails, plural of New Guinea flightless rail. New Guinea Highlands, a long chain of mountain ranges on the island of New Guinea. New Guinea singing dog. Canis lupus hulstromi, a dog of an ancient lineage found in the New Guinea Highlands on the island of New Guinea, having a distinctive melodious howl. New Guinea singing dogs, plural of New Guinea singing dog. No Guinean, of or pertaining to New Guinea. New Guinean rat, a rat of the species Rattus novaeguinea. New Guinean rats, plural of New Guinean rat. New Guineans, plural of New Guinean. New Hall, former name of Murray Edwards College, Cambridge. New Hampshire, a state of the United States. New Hampshireites, a native or resident of the state of New Hampshire in the United States of America. New Hampshirites, plural of New Hampshirite. New Hampton, a number of places in the United States. New Hanover County, one of 100 counties in North Carolina, United States. County seat, Wilmington. New Harmony, a number of places in the United States. New Hartley, a village in Seaton Valley Parish, Northumberland, England OS Grid Ref NZ 3076. New Haven, a municipality of Connecticut, United States. New Haven County, one of 8 counties in Connecticut, United States. There is now no county seat or government. The city of New Haven was the county seat until 1960. New Haven theology, a form of Edwardianism espoused by Nathaniel William Taylor. New Haw, a suburban village in Runnymede Borough, Surrey, England OS Grid Ref TQ 0462. New Hebridean, of or pertaining to the New Hebrides. New Hebrides, a group of islands in the Pacific, now forming the state of Vanuatu. New High German, the modern form of the German language, successor to Middle High German. New Historicism, a school of literary theory developed in the 1980s, aiming simultaneously to understand a work through its cultural context and to understand intellectual history through literature. New Holland, the continent and the country of Australia. New Holland Honeyeater, a species of honeyeater, Phylodonurus novahollandii, having black and white streaked plumage with yellow wing patches, endemic to southern and eastern Australia. New Holland Honeyeaters, plural of New Holland Honeyeater. New Hollywood, a movement in American film history from the mid-1960s to the early 1980s, characterized by a new generation of young filmmakers and by the prominence of the individual film director as opposed to the studio. New Holstein, a town and independent city therein in Calumet County, Wisconsin, United States. Former name of city, Altona. New Hope, a census-designated place in Josephine County, Oregon, United States. New Hotness, the new popular trend, the latest and greatest thing. New Hudson, an unincorporated community in Lyon Township, Oakland County, Michigan, United States. New Humanism, a theory of literary criticism developed in the United States around 1900 by Irving Babbitt and Paul Elmer Moore, opposing Romanticism and emphasizing the moral and spiritual content of literary masterpieces. New Idea, a city, the parish seat of Iberia Parish, Louisiana, United States. New Immigrant, a person that immigrated to Taiwan after 1987, during and after the end of the martial law era, mainly used for mainland Chinese and Southeast Asian women who migrate to Taiwan for marriage. New Imperialism, a period of unprecedented colonial expansion by European powers the United States, and Japan during the late 19th and early 20th centuries. New Indo-Aryan, the current stage of the Indo-Aryan languages, representing evolution from Middle Indo-Aryan. Nguyen, a hamlet in Cheber Parish, Torridge District, Devon, England. OS Grid Ref SS 4408. The later form of the Greek Aeonic dialect, used after circa 600 BCE. New Ireland, an island of the Bismarck Archipelago in New Ireland Province, Papua New Guinea, a German colony from 1884 to 1921, governed by Australia from 1921 and then by Papua New Guinea from 1975 to the present day. New Islington, an inner city area part of Ancoats in the city of Manchester, Greater Manchester, England. OS Grid Ref SJ 8598. New Israel, a new religious movement that grew in the Russian Empire in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. New Jack, synonym of New Jack Swing. New Jack Swing, a variety of swing beat dance music combining elements of rhythm and blues, soul music, hip-hop, and rap. New Jade, a colored quartz mineral gemstone, serpentine. It is not a normal jade mineral, being neither nephrite nor jadate. New Jades, plural of New Jade. New Jalpaiguri, an important railway junction and station in Jalpaiguri district near Siliguri, West Bengal, India. New Jainue, a barangay of Mlang, Cotabato, Philippines. New Jersey, a state in the northeastern United States. Capital, Trenton. New Jersey Barrier, alternative form of Jersey Barrier. New Jersey Barrier, plural of New Jersey Barrier. New Jersey chorus frog. Pseudocris calmi, a species of frog found in New Jersey. New Jersey Plan, a 1787 proposal for the structure of the United States government. New Jersey Sound, a genre of house music that originated in Newark, New Jersey in the early 1980s, with soulful vocals influenced by Newark's gospel legacy. New Jersey Tea, Ceanothus americanus, a North American shrub whose leaves were once used as a substitute for tea. New Jerseyan, a native or resident of the state of New Jersey in the United States of America. New Jerseyans, plural of New Jerseyan. New Jerseys, a dialect of English spoken in New Jersey. New Jersey, a synonym of New Jerseyan. New Jerseyites, plural of New Jersey. New Jerusalem, Ezekiel's prophetic vision of a city centered on the rebuilt Holy Temple, the third temple to be established in Jerusalem, which would be the capital of the Messianic Kingdom, the meeting place of the 12 tribes of Israel during the Messianic era. New Jerusalem Church, Swedenborgianism. New Jerusalemites, a Swedenborgian. New Jerusalemites, plural of New Jerusalemites. New Jill Swing, New Jack Swing music performed by female musicians. New Jersey, New Jersey. New Journalism, a style of news writing and journalism of the 1960s and 1970s, employing a subjective approach and literary techniques deemed unconventional at the time. New Calibo, a barangay of Mlang, Cotabato, Philippines. New Kent, a census-designated place, the county seat of New Kent County, Virginia, United States. New Kent County, one of 95 counties in Virginia, seat, New Kent. New Guinea, advocating or pertaining to a macroeconomic synthesis between Keynesianism and neoclassical economics, often involving or preferring countercyclical stabilization through monetary policy, but favoring fiscal intervention at the zero lower bound. New kid in town, synonym of new kid on the block. New kid on the block, someone or something new to an existing community. New kids on the block, plural of new kid on the block. New kingdom, Egypt after the second intermediate period, but before the third intermediate period, for the time of the overthrow of the Hyksos under Amos I at the start of the 18th dynasty to its de facto disintegration at the end of the 20th dynasty. New Labour, a movement in the 1990s and 2000s to rebrand the British Labour Party by discarding traditional goals such as nationalisation and socialism. New lad, alternative letter case form of new lad. New lad, a sexist young man who embraces traditional male attitudes. New lad, having the characteristics of a new lad. New lads, plural of new lad. New Lanark, a village on the River Clyde, south of the town of Lanark, South Lanarkshire Council area, Scotland. OS Grid Ref NS 8842. New Lane, a hamlet on a lane of the same name in Burscough Parish, Lancashire District, Lancashire, England. OS Grid Ref SD 4213. New Latin, the Reformed Latin language as written or spoken as a lingua franca from 14th century Renaissance Latin to contemporary Latin beginning in the late 19th century. New Lawang, a barangay of Mlang, Cotabato, Philippines. New Leaf, synonym of blank canvas. New Learning, Renaissance humanism developed in late 15th century Europe in response to the recent discovery of classical texts. New Lease of Life, an opportunity to live longer than was expected due to some kind of reprieve. New Lease on Life, alternative form of new lease of life. New leases of life, plural of new lease of life. New leases on life, plural of new lease on life. New leaves, plural of new leaf. New Leeds, a village in Butchin, Aberdeenshire Council area, Scotland. OS Grid Ref NJ 9954. New Left, a broad political movement, mainly in the 1960s and 1970s, made up of activists in the Western world who campaigned for a range of reforms on issues such as civil and political rights, feminism, and the legalization of drugs. New Legs, energy or momentum for continuing provided by a change. A city and town in North Dakota. New Lexington, an unincorporated community in Tuscaloosa County, Alabama, United States. New Lake, a barangay of Mako, Davao de Oro, Philippines. New Light, a relatively progressive or less traditional religious movement, especially historical the party within the 18th century Scottish Secession Church which adopted voluntary views of the relations of church and state, or the Socinianizing Party in the Church of Scotland in the 18th century. New Lighter, a supporter of the New Light religious movement. New Lighters, plural of New Lighter. New Lights, plural of New Light. New Lisbon, a number of places in the United States. New London, a number of places in the United States. New London County, one of 8 counties in Connecticut, United States, presumably named after the settlement of New London, now a city. New Look, the new national security policy of the United States during the administration of President Dwight D. Eisenhower, which aimed to balance Cold War military commitments with the nation's financial resources. New Low German, the modern stage of the Low German language, distinguished from its predecessor stages such as Middle Low German. New Lupin, a barangay of Baguio, Bangt, Philippines. New Lewis, a village in Wigtownshire, Dumfries and Galloway Council area, Scotland OS Grid Ref NX 1764. New Lucena, a municipality of Iloilo, Philippines. Newlyn, a western suburb of Auckland, New Zealand, named after King's Lynn in England. New Madrid, a city, the county seat of New Madrid County, Missouri, United States. New Madrid County, one of 114 counties in Missouri, United States. County seat, New Madrid. New Magsaysay, a barangay of Benito Sullivan, Isabela, Philippines. New Malton, a suburban area of Greater London, mainly in the borough of Kingston upon Thames. New Man, a man who, rejecting sexist attitudes and traditional conceptions of masculinity, aims to be caring and sensitive and to take a substantial role in the domestic